The Galapagos is an incredible destination, but is so remote it can be intimidating. Sure, you can book an incredibly expensive cruise or go with a tour company, but it's not only possible but incredibly enjoyable to do it on your own. In this video, we'll visit the least populated of the islands, Isabela. Why Isabela? Well, it's because it was made just for this guy. Isabela Island is the largest of the Galapagos Islands, but with the smallest population of all the inhabited ones. Even after 2 weeks in the Galapagos, I found Isabela to be absolutely fantastic, and frankly my favorite of all the islands. If you're thinking of skipping it, please don't. Hopefully I'll be able to show you why in this video. There's only one town, Puerto Vaimil, with a population of 2,000. To get here, you can take the boat from the main island of Santa Cruz, or fly on Fly Galapagos or MTB, as I did. Before you do though, be sure and stock up on cash. There's no ATM on the island, so whatever cash you need for tours and meals, be sure and have beforehand. It's only a kilometer from the docks to the town, but a taxi will only set you back $1 or $2. The town has the largest and most beautiful beach of all the similar offerings on the other islands. There are no sea lions here, as apparently years ago the locals would beat them to make them go away. Now they hang out by the port, getting their revenge by stealing all the benches for themselves. A short walk from the port down an elevated platform is Concha de Perla. A snorkeling spot with plenty of the aforementioned sea lions. I also highly recommend taking a trip to Tintoreras, a set of islands right outside the harbor. You can go by either boat or kayak, but you have to go on a guided trip. The islands are teeming with life, from curious and playful sea lions, to sea turtles, and the Galapagos penguin, the only penguin to live north of the equator. They are incredibly rare, with roughly 1,200 in total. While you can't get near the penguins, the advantage of being on a kayak is you can just jump in the water at any time to snorkel. We also saw a large ray and several sharks. Back in the town itself, head to the wetlands on the west side to see all sorts of birds. Most notably flamingos. Follow the raised boardwalk to the tortoise breeding center. Finally, walk or rent a bike to go further west out of town, past more beaches and mangrove forests, giant tortoises on the side of the road, to Muro de las Lágrimas, the Wall of Tears. Isabela was once an island prison, and many died building this completely meaningless wall in the middle of nowhere. You can hike even further if you have the energy for sweeping views of the island and town. Unlike Santa Cruz and San Cristobal, there are only a handful of possible excursions on Isabela. You can climb to the top of the Sierra Negra volcano, or take a trip out to Tortuga Island. But if you can only do one thing, take a trip out to Los Tuneles. I had been in the Galapagos for 2 weeks, and yet this trip was one of my absolute favorites. Seriously, do not skip this. This was the most fun and exciting snorkel trip of my life. And I hate snorkeling, I'm a diver at heart. On the boat ride there were no fewer than 6 manta rays on the surface. I've booked whole vacations to only see 1 or 2, so to casually encounter 6 in transit was a great surprise. Los Tuneles gets its name from the hollowed out lava tubes, where one can walk on the surface or swim underneath. Beginning on foot, you see a landscape like no other, and a pair of blue-footed boobies were right there to greet us. The protected waters are a perfect spot for all sorts of creatures, so we next went snorkeling. It's a rather tight and shallow space with lots of fun swim-throughs. Besides the fish, it's also a sleeping place for sharks. At the very end of our second snorkeling spot, 3 things happened at nearly the same time. A sea turtle came right by me to say hello. One of the guides managed to find 2 seahorses. But then, out of the murky waters of the mangrove forest, came a large group of rays of different species, all swimming together. I'd never seen anything quite like it. So ending on that high note, that's the island of Isabela in the Galapagos. Yes, it's a bit harder to get to, with fewer places to eat and stay. But in my mind, it captures the wild, untamed beauty of the Galapagos better than any of the other inhabited islands. And if you have the time to include it, I really recommend that you do. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, click that button and please subscribe for my traditional flight reviews, as well as some other travel videos like this. I'll see you on the next one.